The betrayal of the Knights Templar was no mere twist of fate. It was born from the cold ambition of King Philip the Fair. Rejected by the Templars when he sought to join their sacred order, Philip's pride turned to vengeance. His dream was not confined to the throne of France. He longed to wear the crown of Jerusalem, to rule over the holy city itself. But to reach that glory, he needed the power and riches of the Templars. And when they denied him, he vowed to destroy them. Philip's ambitions stretched even further. He sought to secure his dynasty by installing his own son as King of France, ensuring no loss of power to rival factions or foreign influence. Every move was a step toward absolute control. Two popes stood in his way. Both perished under shadowed circumstances. And in their place, he raised a weaker man, Clement V, a pope he could control. Through deceit, manipulation, and ruthless will, Philip set in motion one of history's darkest betrayals. The mighty order of the Temple did not fall by the sword, but by the hand of a king. In the shadow of the First Crusade, around the year 1119, a brotherhood of knights was formed in the Holy Land. They called themselves the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. But history would remember them as the Knights Templar. They were warriors, monks, and guardians of the faith, sworn to poverty, chastity, and obedience, yet destined to become one of the most powerful and mysterious orders the world has ever known. Born from a need to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the sacred city of Jerusalem, the Templars quickly grew in influence. Their white mantles, emblazoned with the Red Cross, became a symbol of divine protection. They were not merely fighters. They became bankers, builders, and visionaries. The order soon held castles across Europe and the Holy Land, and their financial network stretched from London to Constantinople, a medieval system that laid the groundwork for modern banking. But immense power breeds suspicion and enemies. By the early 1300s, the Templars had amassed great wealth and influence. King Philip IV of France, deeply indebted to the order, moved against them. He was known as Philip the Fair, but his beauty masked a ruthless heart. King Philip IV of France, desperate, indebted, and driven by greed. His royal treasury lay empty. His wars had bled France dry, and standing between him and salvation was the Order of the Temple. The Templars had become Europe's bankers. Trusted by popes, princes, and pilgrims, they safeguarded gold, financed wars, and controlled land from Paris to Jerusalem.
Undoubtedly, the charges of heresy had been trumped up to politically assassinate them, not just by revealing lies and treachery to the people, but also to lords and kings who backed the Templars. And we know now that those charges of heresy were all founded on nothing, because we have the Chinon document or parchment, which was discovered in 2008, which gave the Templars a complete pardon of all the charges brought against them.
But to destroy God's own knights, Philip needed more than soldiers. He needed the Church. Enter Pope Clement V, a Frenchman elevated to the throne of St. Peter with Philip's guiding hand. Weak-willed, cautious, and politically vulnerable, Clement soon bent beneath the king's pressure. When the papal seat moved from Rome to Avignon, the Pope was no longer a shepherd, but a puppet. With both crown and cross in his grip, Philip prepared his strike. At dawn, Friday, October 13th, 1307, a date forever cursed, Philip unleashed his plan. Across France, royal agents stormed Templar commanderies. Doors splintered. Knights were dragged from their beds, shackled, beaten, branded as heretics. The charges were monstrous: worship of demons, spitting upon the cross, secret obscene rituals. An idol named Baphomet. But these were not truths, they were weapons, lies sharpened to cut the Templars down. In the dungeons of Philip's Inquisition, confessions poured forth. Not all were taken. On that same October night, as France hunted the Knights, whispers tell of a daring escape. At the port of La Rochelle, under cover of darkness, Templar ships slipped their moorings. Their sails caught the midnight wind, carrying brothers and treasure away from Philip's grasp. Where did they go? Some say to Scotland, others to Portugal, still others to distant lands across uncharted seas. The truth remains hidden in shadow, but legend insists that the Templar wealth, and perhaps the Order itself, survived the flames of Philip's wrath. Some historians believe the Templar fleet sailed south, to Portugal. Here, King Denis was sympathetic to the Order. He refused to carry out the Pope's demand for their arrest. Instead, he sheltered them, and in 1319 created a new order, the Order of Christ. Under this new name, the Templars lived on. Their castles were not destroyed. Their wealth was preserved. Their knowledge of navigation became the foundation of Portugal's golden age of exploration. From Prince Henry the Navigator to Vasco da Gama, echoes of Templar seamanship carried Europe into a new world. Was this the Templars' greatest revenge? To outlast their enemies and to steer the future of global discovery? Other ships, it is said, sailed north, to Scotland, a land at war with England, ruled by Robert the Bruce, who had himself been excommunicated by the Pope. If anywhere in Europe could offer the Templars refuge, it was here. Legend tells of Templar knights riding to war alongside Robert the Bruce at Bannockburn in 1314. Where the Scots won a stunning victory. In the Battle of Bannockburn, Bruce's army stood strong. Just 5,000 to 8,000 men against all odds, they lost fewer than 100 soldiers. Facing them, the English army, 22,000 to 25,000 strong. Yet, more than 12,000 of them fell. How could such a small force claim such a victory? Was it sheer strategy, unwavering spirit, or perhaps the hidden hand of the Knights Templar? Some Templars may have crossed overland into Aragon and Castile, kingdoms still locked in battle with the Moors. Here the brothers were absorbed into new orders, Montesa, Calatrava. Their swords were not silenced, but turned once again against Islam. Further north, others may have found shelter in the rugged valleys of Switzerland. Some suggest that Templar military expertise influenced the early Swiss Confederacy, shaping their traditions of fortification and finance. While the evidence is fragmentary, the Templar imprint is difficult to dismiss. By 1312, the once mighty order was no more, their properties seized, their wealth plundered, their legacy stained. Officially, their riches passed to the Knights Hospitaller, but much of it, quietly, found its way into Philip's hands. 2 years later, the final act of this dark play unfolded. Jacques de Molay, the last Grand Master, was burned at the stake in Paris. As the flames consumed him, de Molay cried out, not in despair, but in defiance. He summoned Pope Clement and King Philip before the judgment of God within the year. And so it came to pass. Clement fell ill and died. Philip too struck down suddenly. To many, their fate was proof of divine vengeance. But the most tantalizing legends take us further still, out into the vast and dangerous Atlantic Ocean. Some claim the Templars followed Viking routes north to Iceland, where Norse sagas speak of distant voyages and hidden allies. Others suggest they pressed on to Greenland, joining or sheltering with Norse colonies that clung to life on the icy frontier. And then, the boldest theory of all, that the Templars crossed the ocean itself, centuries before Columbus, long before the maps of the New World were drawn, that they reached North America. The Knights Templar are gone. But their story is not finished. It belongs to us now, to question, to wonder, to seek. For every myth lies a fragment of truth, waiting for discovery.